in the heart of Japan's most dramatic transformation. One man rose, not to seize power, but to defend a way of life that was vanishing before his eyes. His name? Saigō Takamori. Some call him a hero. Some call him a traitor. But everyone remembers him as the last samurai. This is the story of the Satsuma Rebellion. The war that could have changed Japan forever. Let's go back to the 1860s. Japan was standing at a crossroads. For over 2 centuries, it had lived under the Tokugawa shogunate, a feudal military government. Strict, controlled, isolated from the rest of the world. The shogunate had established a rigid social order, with the samurai at the top as the warrior nobility. They served the daimyos, feudal lords who ruled territories with relative autonomy. Peace prevailed for decades, but it also meant stagnation. The samurai's role had shifted from battlefield glory to bureaucrats and administrators. The sword was slowly becoming a symbol, not a weapon. Then came Commodore Perry. In 1853, American warships entered Japanese waters. Giant steam-powered vessels. Guns pointed. No negotiation. Japan had no choice but to open its ports. And everything changed. The era of isolation was over. The country realized how far behind it had fallen. While Europe and America had steam engines, railways, modern armies, Japan still had wooden swords and honor codes. This shock triggered fierce debate in Japan. Some called for embracing Western technology and ideas to survive. Others wanted to hold fast to tradition and shun foreign influence. Civil unrest simmered as the old order was challenged. In 1868, a revolution swept the country. The Meiji Restoration. Young leaders, including Saigō Takamori himself, helped overthrow the shogun. Power returned to the emperor. Modernization began. Western clothes. Western schools. Western weapons. And a Western-style army. The Meiji leaders were determined to transform Japan into a modern, industrialized nation capable of standing equal to the West. They sent students abroad, built factories, and adopted new laws. It was fast. It was radical. And for many, it felt like betrayal. The samurai class, those who had served as the elite warriors of Japan, were hit hardest. Their centuries-old privileges were suddenly under attack. They lost their stipends and influence. The government ordered them to give up their swords, the symbol of their identity. Can you imagine that? A samurai, forced to carry a cane instead of a katana? For many, it was a deep wound to their pride and purpose. Some adapted reluctantly to the new order. Many struggled to find their place in a rapidly changing society. Some protested fiercely. But Saigō Takamori? He left the government, returned to his hometown in Satsuma, and waited. Saigō believed Japan was losing its soul. That in copying the West, it was forgetting its heart. Honor. Discipline. Sacrifice. He wasn't against progress, he welcomed strengthening the nation. But he feared progress without values would lead Japan to moral ruin. He founded schools for young men. Taught them the samurai virtues. Trained them like warriors. Quietly building a force. A brotherhood. By 1877, tensions exploded. The government accused Saigō of plotting rebellion. They moved troops into Satsuma. Cut off supplies. That's when Saigō made his decision. If they wanted a fight, he'd give them one. He led over 20,000 samurai into open revolt. No modern rifles. No artillery. Just swords. And loyalty. They marched north. Toward Tokyo. Toward the emperor. But Japan had changed. The Meiji government had a modern army, trained by French and German officers. With guns. With cannons. With numbers. 70,000 soldiers were sent to intercept Saigō's forces. And the battle began. At first, the samurai held their ground. They fought with skill, with fury, with tradition behind them. Their courage echoed samurai tales of old. They charged against overwhelming firepower with unwavering resolve. But modern bullets don't care about honor. Every charge was met with volleys of gunfire. Samurai swords clashed with rifles. One by one, Saigō's men fell. The final stand came at Shirayama, a mountain in southern Japan. It was foggy, rain-soaked, silent. Saigō, already wounded, stood with his last 300 men. Surrounded. Outgunned. But unbroken. At dawn, the imperial army attacked. The mountain turned red. No retreat. No surrender. Saigō was shot in the hip. Unable to stand. But he refused to be captured. With dignity, he asked a friend to assist him. And he died by the sword. An ancient samurai ritual. Seppuku. Seppuku was more than a way to die, it was an act of honor. By choosing death on his own terms, Saigō preserved his integrity as a samurai even in defeat. His death marked the end of the rebellion. And the symbolic death of the samurai era. But here's the twist. After his death, the government didn't vilify him. They honored him. Why? Because even in rebellion, Saigō had remained loyal to his values, to his vision of Japan. He didn't fight for greed. He fought for meaning. For something deeper. In 1889, the emperor posthumously pardoned him. His statue now stands in Ueno Park, Tokyo. A samurai, looking west. Today, Saigō Takamori is remembered not as a criminal, but as a man who stood for something. Even as the world changed around him. And that's the question for all of us. When your values clash with change, do you adapt? Or do you stand your ground? Tell me in the comments, what would you have done? Would you have followed Saigō? Or embraced the new Japan? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more stories like this. Because history isn't just dates and names. It's people. And choices. And courage.